Well, hello everyone and welcome into Mount Smart Stadium number 2. We are here for the major semi-finals for both the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship and of course the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. First up we have the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship, and what a clash this will be. Papakura up against Bay Roskill. Papakura going down in extra time last week against Te Atatū in the qualifying final, and Bay Roskill getting up over Papakura by the slimmest of margins. A Ben Henry penalty goal with the siren sounding in the background, getting Bay Roskill through to the big one, and it is win or go home today as we await the arrival of the two teams. Good conditions here at Mount Smart Stadium number 2 today. The field in very good nick considering the number of games that have been played here, and most recently that was the SAS College Rugby League finals night. Wonderful night down here with plenty of crowd support as well, the families and students both past and present. And a great rep game as part of that as well. We saw the Auckland schoolboys get up for victory over a Vodafone Warriors invitational side. It was a great way to end the secondary school season at a club level. And in the next few weeks we roll into the national tournament, of course, the NZRL National Secondary Schools. So in the meantime, this is the game that we are focusing on, and Bay Roskill make their way down now, led by Leela Vaivai, the lock forward, and George Edwards leading the way for the Papakura Sea Eagles, two vastly experienced players, and they'll be at the thick of it today. So on they come. He's on screen, Moses Ongi. He'll have an important role to play today. Auckland representative. He was outstanding for them last year, and once again, as they eye back-to-back grand finals, will have a big role today to play against a formidable Papakura forward pack. You can see the last of the teams making their way out. There's Jerome Ropati. What a man he is to have in your arsenal. Part of the halves for Bay Roskill. Our middle referee today is Rochelle Tamarua. Of course, made history earlier this year by being part of the first ever female trio to referee an SAS Fox Memorial Premiership First Division match. One of Auckland League's best up-and-coming referees. So on screen here is the Papakura Sea Eagles team, and the ones to watch out for: Willie Stowers and Drew Radich. It's a great halves combination with plenty of creativity. Phoenix Hunt is out, although he appears on your screen there. He was a late withdrawal due to a hip injury. Makari Beatty, the other one to watch as well, has got some real dynamic skills and will start at fullback, but expect him to pop up a few different places across the field. He'll be a key playmaker for Spencer Taplin's side as well. And now we'll look at the Bay Roskill Vikings, coached by John Paul. Corey Vogel is the gun fullback, Ben Henry and Jerome Ropati in the halves, and Moses Ongi and Leela Vaivai will lead the forward pack. Underway we go here at Mount Smart number 2. Do or die. Papakura up against Bay Roskill, and it will be the Sea Eagles with first use of the football, running away from the number 1 end here at Mount Smart number 2 as they go into play number 2, 30 metres off the line. Now my pleasure to welcome into the commentary box my commentary partner, Troy Hardy. And Troy, we've been talking about it all week. This is a big, exciting day, and this is going to be a great one to get us underway.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, mate, as Papakura's taking it out inside the 40, heading towards the halfway line. And as you rightly said, it's do or die today. So one of these teams is going to go to the big dance. And Papakura Sea Eagles, you know, they've got a lot to prove. They're the big guns down. Bay Roskill came up last year, and, you know, I know that they'll want to head back to the grand final as both these teams do. So looking forward to a big, strong clash today. Very exciting.
Great first set from Papakura, and now they need a solid kick to finish on. They spin it up the back. It goes to Radich, who goes high, and a tester here in the breeze, which is put down. So back-to-back sets coming up now for Papakura. Went backwards, but knock on here. So this will be a Papakura ball. And straight away you can see there, Radich looking to the skies because the breeze will be an issue today, particularly here at Mount Smart number 2, where it always seems to be a little bit more of a factor. So we're just waiting for confirmation here. This is going to be a Papakura ball. So it wasn't a knock-on initially, it was the call from Tamarua, but there was a second knock-on in there, which means Papakura will have the feed 20 metres out from the line and almost smack bam in the centre of the field.
Kira got the feed,
okay.
Mate. I think Bay Roskill's got the ball.
So confusion reigns on that one, my apologies. Anyway, Bay Roskill now on the football, so there must have been a late one overcalled there. But back to the live action. The Vikings now on the football. Kenneth Henry jumps into dummy half and links with Vogel. Down 40 metres out from the line now. 10 shot at halfway. There's Luke Armiger, the man drafted in to play dummy half with the loss of Phoenix Hunt. This is Mackenzie Cutter.
Just hear the camera crew in the background. So that's a big unit. Boy, there's some big boys out here on number 2 today. Mount Smart.
Henry goes to Ropati to his left. Ropati now launches one. Skyward and a tester on here. It's allowed to bounce. BT and a little bit of confusion at the back between himself and Vasu. They get there in the end and are tackled 10 metres off the line. They'll look to ruck the ball out now. Bay Roskill come into this one having beaten Papakura 34-26 in the final round. That was what got them through. And then, as I mentioned, got home just against Pukekohe last week in a wonderful match. Ben Henry the difference with his penalty goal for Papakura. Well, they actually come into this one with back-to-back losses, having lost to Te Aratu last week, but they are a class outfit. Plenty of experience, and importantly, it's first division experience as well. This is the 10 junior setup. Ball swings down to the right edge, and Stowers just pokes a kick down the side, which is cleaned up by Bay Roskill, and they'll bring it back now and go 25 metres before contact. And already Troy evident, both teams rolling through the park pretty easily. No doubt a testament to the quality of the two forward packs on display.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing that sort of strikes us early is that both got good kicking games, and I think we'll see a lot of that today. You know, Ropati's been involved already fairly early. Just wondering how much the southerly wind's going to play in today's match. You know, it's pretty strong out there at the moment.
Ropati looks up and tests the line. Just about went through, but taking the ground just inside opposition territory. This is Henry. Goes down the left-hand side. They come back through the middle. Ben Henry this time. There are a couple of Henrys on the field. He's got his brother playing the dummy half role today. Taken to ground. 45 out from the line. 35 in fact. Swings it to Leela Vaivai, and Vaivai goes to the sky, which is the flavour of the day so far. Tester for Vasu, who takes it beautifully, but the chase is brilliant from Bay Roskill. And as a result, they'll trap him 9 metres out from his line. So positive stuff so far, and the kicking game backing it up on the end of it. Here's a good run out of trouble from Neil Levu, who takes them up to 25 off their own line, gets to a quick play of the ball as well. Willie Stowers comes centre field to George Edwards, the co-captain, back at the club after a stint with Howick. Armiger up over halfway now via Pitta. Penalty to go with it. Ben Henry stayed in there just a second too long, and in fact it may have been for a little second effort there, a leg pull. So Papakura now setting up here, and you can see Stowers just barking the instructions. Setting up for their next play. He'll kick from 5 short of halfway and take them well and truly into attacking territory. A great first opportunity here for the Papakura Seagulls.
Yeah, and I think that was assisted by the wind. And if you are watching this at home, and welcome in and joining us on the ARL TV live stream, is there's a pretty good gusty wind going from right to left on your screen. As we see Papakura Seagulls settling into the heart of the Bay Roskill defence there.
So Armiger looks to his right, finds Pitta to Stowers. Stowers a little double pump to Beatty. Makati Beatty just teased the pass, but then gets taken to ground 10 short of the line. Edwards will go infield to Stowers, who's got some big bodies in the middle hanging off his shoulder. Pitta has taken the ground 5 short of the line. The Seagulls with their best of chance so far in the game. To the right they go. Stowers looks up, dances, steps. Jinx still going as well. He's Stowers, and he'll go very close to stepping his way over the line, but taking the ground in front of the SAS uprights. We've got a penalty in here.
Great scramble on the defence by the Vikings.
And he's at his best, Willie Stowers, when he runs the ball like that, isn't he? And, we've seen him used in a couple of different positions this year. He's back in the halves today. But certainly, like what I see when he takes on the line like that and just keeps everyone second-guessing, he's then got the ball-playing skills to do something off the back of it if that's not working. Pitta will march the ball forward, and Leela Vaivai whacks him 3 metres out from the line. This is Radic to Stefano, and Stefano goes so close. A little ankle tap at the end there. Who was that? May have been Ben Henry saving the day. Quick play of the ball goes BT infield to Stowers, and they shift the ball right, but it's a little bit disjointed all of a sudden for Papakura, and as a result, Bay are onto it. Now this could be 6 again here. We wait for the call. There's nothing coming through yet. Neil Levu.
Shape left.
Armiger to Radic. Radic goes backdoor. Numbers now on the left-hand side. BT dinks a little kick in behind, but it's recovered well by Bay Roskill. Now, that did not look legal and was judged not to be by referee Tamador. So Bay Roskill now will kick their way out of trouble. And no doubt Troy will take a fair bit from defending that. Papakura threw plenty of different things at them that time, but Bay Roskill more than up to task.
Absolutely, and fair to say the Seagulls looking up tempo at the moment. They're certainly shifting it fast out of their ruck area. Little dink off to the touch there, so that one's obviously playing a wee bit of havoc. Just making certain that he's found the line as we look for a big settle now, grinding out inside the 20.
Henry shuffles on. This is Moses Ongi. Let's quick play the ball from Ongi.
Big
pass is terrible. And forward the call. Well, that was terrible dummy half service and may have caught the wind a little there as well. That's how strong the wind is. It's actually catching some of those passes there. So very clearly favouring Papakura in the first half here. Probably worth a few points as well from what we've seen so far.
It'd be fair to say too, getting chances at kick on goal, whether you're scoring tries or penalties, especially with the wind at your back, you'd be, odds on that you'd be wanting to take the shots. Anyway, on the attack, here come the Eagles.
Short side they go via BT, who hands off to George Edwards, and Edwards is taking the ground 15 out. Charging through the middle now, and it's Taylor Polder, the former Howard Hornet. Manyarewa Jr. Pitta hits the line hard, taken down in front of the SAS uprights. Goes to Radic, dummy to Stefano, and instead found to Sessi, I think it is. And Zion will be taken down just short of the line. A lot of pressure on now. BT gets rushed by Bay Roskill. It's good defence, and they're up quickly to close him down. He's popping up on both sides of the field right now and causing some issues. Last play coming up now. Goes to Radic, who then goes to Stowers. Stowers says we'll try our luck down the right-hand side, but he'll be taking the ground, and I'm not sure Willie knew that was last play that time. Gives a puzzled look, and I think it's safe to say Willie wasn't aware that was last tackle. Handover ball, and Bay Roskill now will look to ruck the football out from deep inside their own half.
Oh, and that's a little bit messy. Has he managed to pull that back in? Just about to say that they need a bit of time on the ball to Bay Roskill. Been doing a wee bit of defending. So looking for runners now, trying to get some form.
Ongi does his best to inspire, but they're going nowhere in a hurry. They need a penalty, Bay Roskill, to get out of their end here, and the finish of the set's going to be crucial. As Henry goes to the line, but he's not fallen to Sessi on that occasion. There's a few kgs in that tackle. Stefano joining in late. So Ongi plays the ball. Clear the ruck via Henry, and a booming kick downtown from Jerome Party takes a horror bounce for BT, and he's back to scoop it up. Almost off his own goal line now, and then brings it back, looks up and sees a little bit of space, which he plays Leo Levu into, and now Leo Levu weaves his way through a couple and still going again, puts the big don't argue on, and by the end of it, they've gone 40 metres. That's a fair kick return from the Sea Eagles. Edwards marches forward and then gets taken to ground. Looks like fresh legs on in the shape of Victor Freeth here as Willie Stowers jumps out, and they're killing them with the dummy half runs right now. Look at the way they are rolling down the field here. Papakura, Edwards goes to the 10, which is Junior setup.
Yeah, they got the momentum off the back of that from the big big run from the winger. Isn't he strong and fast, that guy?
Radic goes backdoor to Sessi, is left to take a settler to the middle, and they're 10 short of the line. Last play coming up now. Armiger to Radic. Radic goes to the line, double pump. Drew Radic will open the scoring. Simple as that at the end of a perfect set, really, through the middle of the park. They got rolling, and then Drew Radic took full advantage. A sneaky little double pump at the line to just catch the attention of the defence, and over goes Radic for the opening try.
Ground lift trucks action replay here, and as Corey said, got it away from a fantastic roll down the field. There's just too much pressure on. Looking for the quick play of the ball here. Knew it was on the left-hand side. And at this point, nice little fake. Just split the defence. 4 points. Seagulls out in front.
So Drew Radic lines up to attempt the conversion. Strikes it. Looks good. Flags are up. Drew Radic 6. Bay Roskill 0. 26 and a bit to go in the first half here. And you would have to say, Troy, that try probably a long time coming, just given the way that Papakura were dominating through the middle. Bay Roskill had defended their line nicely a couple of times, but that time Drew Radic really summed it up beautifully.
Absolutely, and I think you touched on it early when they started rolling down the park. You know, their ruck speed was certainly up tempo. They were putting a lot of pressure on, and you know, they basically reaped the rewards off that at the end of that set.
Bring you a stats update in just a second. TJ will update us on what's happening possession-wise and with errors as well, hopefully.
Great.
And a big thank you to TJ Ashford for joining us today in the commentary box.
Exciting, having Big TJ on board.
And that's going to be called an error against George Edwards there. Trying to get up too quickly to play the ball, so we will pack down a scrum. This will be a Bay Roskill feed, and we'll head over to TJ for a little stats update.
Yeah, that's probably not the set that Coach Spencer Taplin was looking for after scoring points. That's actually Papakura's first error for today. So they've had the 8 sets with the ball and they've only dropped it once, that was their first injury. So, you know, for Bay, they spend a lot of time in their own half at the moment, inside their own 40, and that's compounded with a couple errors. So they just got to hold on to the ball and try and build a little bit of pressure. Yeah, that's probably the best way for them to get back into this game at this stage.
So back to the live action, and a little bit messy from Bay Roskill. Oh, head down the right-hand side now. This is via the number 3 for them, Kaliopasi. Henry shuffles back into centre field. Ongi lines up for a carry off the back fence. It's damaging as well, finds his front. This should be a nice quick play the ball here for Moses Ongi. He tried to milk a penalty just for a second there. Dummy to Henry, and then instead find Tutaki in centre field. They're not far out from the line now, Bay Roskill. A chance to hit straight back after points. Henry from dummy half to Ropati, who dribbles the kick in, but Neil Levu does brilliantly. Now he's clutched straight at the face, and a penalty is forthcoming as well. It didn't look to be too much in that. He was falling at the time. I'm not doubting he got hit, but nothing intentional in there, and he's back up to the feet. So Papakura now will kick via Stowers.
Just waiting for that kick to come. Neil Levy's impressed me early. Fast and strong.
Set up. Bumps them down to 10 out from halfway.
And there's some big, strong forwards in both packs, aren't there?
Armiger.
Great run.
Jumps out and steals a few. He's such a handy player, Luke Armiger. Can play all over the park. Ideal guy to have coming off your bench or even into a starting role and move him around if there's injuries. He's a fair dummy half as well, which I think is his position of choice. That was Tassisi going on a one-man wrecking mission. Now goes to Radic, who throws a looping ball over the top in space on the left-hand side here for Papakura. Still going, stepping 1, 2, 3, all the way to the try line. And Christopher Smithson will get Papakura's second, and it's individual brilliance. Footwork to die for there. Step through a couple, takes them out and gives them a chance now to double the lead. 10-0, kick to come.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay there. You saw a beautiful drop on the inside. Just sort of straightened it up in the centres here, and here we go. Shifting to the left. Big floating past. Stepped inside, stepped again, off both feet. All the way through, clean as. Another 4 points. Papakura Seagulls up and at them. And they've got off to a cracker start, haven't they, as we wait for the kick to come.
Yeah, brilliant start. Radic running things down that left edge. And you would imagine they'll keep visiting there because they're finding success right now. I'll tell you, there was a heck of a fend on. I think it was Leela Vaivai, which really laid the platform for that set. To Sessi through the middle of the park. So a chance for Radic now, just slightly harder than his first conversion, and they could go up to a 12-0 lead here with 22 to play in the first half. He's a great goal kicker, Drew Radic, topped the comp last year in that category, and flags are up once again. And Papakura lead, 12 points to 0. Setafano on screen there, getting a little bit of strapping on the left-hand side. We'll bring TJ back in just to talk a little bit about the way that Papakura is set up here. Obviously, Drew Radic down that left-hand side. TJ, what are you seeing so far that you like in that?
Yeah, I think both tries have been set up from the shape that they've been thrown at Bay Roskill. Papakura's obviously gone through the middle to get some yardage there, but if you had a look on the first try there with Drew, he shaped up a couple of times hitting, I think it was Zion Tassisi, and that obviously opened up a bit of space for him to go through. So Drew's got a bit of options down there on that left-hand side. Their issue for today would be trying to stay in the fight and keep completing their sets, so that's what's keeping them in there at the moment.
And that starts now because they made an error the last time after points and can ill afford to do it again because they're probably lucky Bay Roskill didn't build a little bit more pressure last time. This is the 11, Taylor Polder, who is taken down 5 short of halfway. Still tackles up their sleeve here, Papakura. Armiger jumps out. Brilliant work from Luke Armiger. He's identifying that ruck beautifully right now. Goes to Stowers, who then finds Taylor Polder. Polder's got the ball in one hand. Last play coming up now, but once again, they're right into the thick of the attacking stuff here, Papakura, and perhaps a chance to put something on down the left again. Radic will kick this time. Smithson, that'll be a knock on, and Vogel scoops it up and shakes out of the first one. Still going here, Vogel. Wrestled the ground 8 metres out from the line. Bay Roskill now need to just get back into the grind of things here. They can ill afford a mistake, and to let Papakura really take a stronghold. Third try would make things really difficult for them in the second half, although the wind will be favouring them.
How much confidence would you take out of having Vogel on the back line there? He certainly diffused that little wave.
Vaivai. Ropati plays late at the line and brings in Freeth, who's taken down on halfway. Short side they attack. Ropati got rushed by Stowers. Last play coming up now. 19 and a bit to play. Henry to the other Henry, who kicks long and into touch, I think. No, it's going to hold up.
Close.
Well, that was almost a very good set, but they probably would have rathered that went out and had the break there at Bay Roskill.
This guy
they are
is
blowing
impressive.
hard.
Sorry, Corey. Just so much strength and speed. Great tackle.
Smithson, the try scorer, jumps out and even hard to contain as he was on his try as well.
And into 4 or 5 different defenders going up the park. Look at them lining up.
Jamal Hunt, co-captain of this team, former Auckland representative, spent time with the North Sydney Bears. He's a wonderful player. He's been battling a knee injury the last few weeks. returns for this big one. Of course, on the same day they lose his younger brother Phoenix. Stowers looks to the heavens. It's a swirling one and is taken beautifully in the end, and that was by the 4, Mulia Fraser. Leosevi. It's Joel Leosevi. Justice, a late withdrawal today. Lila Vaivai, set upon by 2, including Armiger. I've liked so much of what Luke Armiger's done so far. Henry, shuffle pass to Moses Ongi, who gets taken to ground. Smack bam on halfway, 17.5 to play. It's the Seagulls who lead by 12. Henry now works down the right-hand side, but look how quick the Papakura line is up.
And it's a good solid line too. No one's getting left behind. They're certainly putting a lot of pressure on.
Ropati kicks, bounces and goes into touch. Now there's a penalty in back play, and it will go the way of Bay Roskill. So not sure if Jerome Ropati got taken out there.
First real opportunity for the Vikings to have a raid.
Tutaki. Kelston Boys graduate. John O'Weir's come on to dummy half as well. That's a handy man to have coming on into the hooking roll. It pops loose, and I tell you what, they are very lucky. Niu Levu did not go 70-odd metres and score there, because if that ball doesn't go to the ground, he's gone. He's gone. You're not catching him.
Mate, I'm trying really hard not to fall in love with that guy. He's just so fast and strong. He's looking dangerous. If they unlock him today, he's going to be a handful.
Save all your praise for Tony Tuia, who we're calling later on.
Oh, big Tony T. I heard them on the radio interview, and he's certainly giving Glenora Bears a bit of what for. So looking forward to that big match. Don't go too far away. We've got another one coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Scrum packs down. Bay Roskill go back on the attack. John O'Weir is wide to Vogel. Vogel stepping, dancing Corey Vogel. 8 short of the line. John O'Weir says, get out of dummy half, Ben Henry. I'm running the show now. Goes to Tutaki short, who burrows low and is taken down just metres out. Henry's lining up for another one, but instead they'll go centre field to Ropati, to Vaivai. Vaivai is promptly set upon by 2 big man for Papakura. Perhaps numbers on the left-hand side here, Bay Roskill. That's the way they will go, but it's one-out stuff. They were perhaps looking for the run around there. At least John O'Weir was. Last play now coming up for Bay Roskill. Back towards the centre of the park they come. Terrible pass. Vogel cleans it up, and then Vogel plays on. Goes to Henry. Henry kicks him behind. It's missed by everyone. Knock on Papakura the call.
Well, Bay Roskill creating a little bit of pressure here. In the right part of the field too. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, all of the replays, all of the footage that you'll be seeing today will be backed up on ARL TV, and you'll be able to get to that footage through www.aucklandleague.co.nz.
So this is a big set for Bay Roskill. They need to build some pressure. It doesn't have to be a try, but a repeat set or something. They need some sort of reward for being down here as Vogel dances, steps, links, and a kick in behind on play 1. Oh, madness. Dear, oh dear.
They need to tackle here.
That is probably not the play you want from your winger in that situation. Play 1, 10 metres out from the line. And look at this, the body language of Bay Roskill now. They're blowing hard. They have been made to do a whole lot of work containing this Papakura middle, and it's starting to take its toll. Don't be surprised if something opens up from dummy half now. Watch for Armiger and Stowers off the end of it. 10 short of halfway now. Stowers jumps into dummy half. Heads down the right-hand side. This is Hemi Douglas. Radic moves it on. Last play coming up now. Armiger goes down the short side. Comes back to Radic, who says we'll launch one high. And Vogel with an all-time knock on there. In fact, that may not have been Vogel.
Yeah, that certainly ricocheted off the chest plate, didn't it? Bit of a conversation being had there.
Yeah, well, there's a penalty to
Both
Papakura.
captains in.
Inside the 10 is the call. Thank you to TJ for identifying that one.
The crowd's starting to mount down here too. There's a couple of good games on today, and if you're in the area, come and join us at Mount Smart number 2.
So as Bay Roskill kick for touch now via Henry, and choose off a bit more on this one, a bit more of an adventurous kick that time. Takes them up to start this set on halfway. 12 and a half to play. It's been all Papakura so far. Here's a good first carry, and I think that's Moses Ongi.
Looking for a quick play of the ball here, and it's gone astray. Yep, Papakura high-fiving one another. They're loving that.
Shade Hita it was who's put the ball down. That's one of a number of errors they've come up with down this end of the park. And we'll go to TJ now for a little update on some of the key stats.
Yeah, that's the story of the day for Bay Roskill at the moment, mate. They're only completing at about 63% at the moment, so that's obviously very costly. Papakura actually completing up in the high 90s, so I think they've only got 2 errors all day, Papakura. Big couple defensive sets on the line from Papakura there. I thought that's probably kept them in the game there. The key for them would probably be to get it down the other end of the field and start building some more pressure to pile on a few more points on this Bay Roskill side.
So there you have it. The completion rate's the difference so far. And just as we say that, well, Papakura will take a little bit of a hit there with Jamal Hunt just trying too hard to get to a quick play of the ball. And Bay Roskill get let off the hook.
Big shout out to Crown Lift Trucks, major sponsors of the Fox Championship. Fantastic to have those guys on board. Not only do they sponsor the Fox Championship here at the ARL, also one of the major sponsors of the Auckland Rugby League Referees Association.
Henry clears from the back, links with Vogel. Bit of a staggered line, but Papakura do well to respond. Corey Vogel, has he been tackled first time at all today? He is just incredible at the back.
Really elusive. There he comes again.
Leosevi to Vogel, and Vogel will get back slammed to ground here. Might have picked up a bit of a knock there, Corey Vogel. Looking a little ginger as he gets to the feet. This is Kenneth Henry.
How fast was that defender? Sorry, Corey, did you see him rush through from the line? And we've made that a little messy.
Hitting the line hard at speed. Wants a man on his shoulder. Gets a man on his shoulder. Well, out of nowhere, Bay Roskill hit back. Comes from a charging carry from Hita. And then on the end of it, had Kaliopasi pop up on his shoulder. It came against the run of play, really. It didn't look like they were going anywhere too fast on that set. But as so often happens, broken play, the ball hits the ground. It can change just the way the defensive line comes up. And then from here, it's a good carry from Hita. And then the centre backing up on the outside. So Bay Roskill onto the board. 10 or 12-4, I should say. Kick to come.
As we wait for the kick to come, yep. Felt the Papakura Seagulls, one of the defenders shot really fast out of the line as that play was in motion. And you're right, Corey, the ball sort of hit the ground and it was a wee bit stagnant, and then all of a sudden they managed to, take an opportunity out of that. And we see Bay Roskill now trying to convert a try that was successful. And it's going to be interesting to see how he strikes this with the way the wind's going at the moment. It's sort of coming in gusts and it's a wee bit flat now, isn't it? But, these 2 points will be very important. Nice strike just off to the left.
So 12-4 it remains. Papakura up over Bay Roskill. But if Bay Roskill can get to half-time at 12-4, I dare say they'll be probably the happier of the two teams. Because really, before that try, it hadn't looked too likely that they were going to go through. They just weren't really generating anything down this end of the park, although it was a sloppy 5 or 10 minute period for Papakura. A penalty in there, and then obviously a drop ball, and as Troy mentioned, just a little fault popping up in the defensive line that time. So 8 to play in the first spell. It's the Seagulls in control right now, but Bay Roskill, what will they get out of that try? There's a good strong carry to kick things off. John O'Weir speed things up at the play of the ball, comes into centre field, and a bit of a spring in the step, that is clear to see already. Sefa Hookie.
And O'Weir pleading for a bit of attention from the referee.
Vai with a risky pass at the end there. It's reeled in and all is okay. Weir goes short side to Ropati. Ropati sells him on the big dummy. Well, he didn't actually sell anyone. Stowers wrestles him to ground. They're 40 out from the line now, Bay Roskill, and this is looking a little more like the Vikings we have come to know over the last couple of years. Hookie goes to ground. John O'Weir looks out the back, links with Ben Henry, who will go high. Tutaki, the man chasing it. Beatty goes for it. The ball is allowed to bounce. It's now loose, and Makati Beatty does well to recover it, but they're not wanting to play at those high balls right now. We've seen a couple of them dropped already, and probably 2 or 3 allowed to bounce. Will continue to be a factor in this game. That wind's not going anywhere from what we can see, as George Edwards now rucks the ball forward towards the direction of Leela Vaivai. Nice quick play of the ball as well from George. Niulevu. Armiger goes out the back. They're going to kick now. From inside, it's long and driven, and will go very close and just kept in.
Play on.
Wow, that was a big play. Corey Vogel now gets it with a stagnant line, but Drew Radich chases beautifully and takes him down 9 metres off his line. Look at this from Papakura. They may not have got the 40-20, but it's almost just as good because their chase has pinned this team deep inside their own end, and Bay Roskill having a real hard time getting out now.
They just had a quick interchange too. Looks like 15's on. He's got his boarding pass Corey in the background for Bay Roskill.
John O'Weir to Ben Henry, and Henry will drill this one long, and that's going to sit up awkwardly. Now there's players taken out and back play there. Play on is the call, according to referee Tamaroa. Edwards. A couple of carries out of yardage, George Edwards. He's coming looking for work today, as is Niulevu down his flank as well. This is Andre Singh, Defence Force representative. Armiger to Hunt. And Ford the call.
Bad luck.
Well, 50-50 in there as Henry helps Hunt back up to his feet. There wasn't a lot in it, but Ford the right call from what I could see.
Got official time clock, 5 minutes to half time.
Been a fast-flying game, hasn't it? I'm not even sure we've had time off.
35 minutes gone.
Yeah.
Just burnt like that. It's been a fast first half.
And while there have been a number of errors, they've got things going again. It's been nice to watch. And it will be very interesting to see what role the wind plays in the second half. So short side they come. This is Kaliopasi, who's been pretty impressive so far. Scored a try and has had some nice carries, and he earns a penalty that time. Oh, that was a forgettable minute for Jamal Hunt. Involved in the forward pass earlier, and then gets pinged, and Henry says, we'll kick for touch and look to get going here. With 4 to play, Bay Roskill eyeing up the chance to hit back once again. Not going to go into the sheds even, but if they can reduce it to a 4 or 2 point gap, I dare say John O'Poole will be delighted. John O'Weir. "19 out from the line. Weir goes to Vaivai. Vaivai has a big man on his shoulder. Instead goes to Henry, who comes back infield. Hot potato stuff now as Weir shakes out of another, and he takes them to 5 metres out from the line. Golden opportunity now for the Vikings. Henry to Big Brother.
one-handed play there. Looked like he was going to shoot it and pull it back in.
Weir, short side, Kaliopasi. He's in direction of Tassisi.
Great tackle.
Wow. Jamal Hunt and Jerome's on the ground. Let's hope he's okay here, Jerome Ropati. May have been a head clash in there, and that's not good to see.
Now, that's about the second or third time that the Seagulls have broken hard out of the defence line and really tried to put the pressure on the ball carrier. And that time was successful.
So I think something's firing up here as well. Didn't look like there was too much cynical in there, so we'll have a little bit of a break here. And I'll send my apologies into the Henry family as well. I think I identified the wrong older brother there. Don't want to cause division within the Henrys. There are a few of them at this club, and just looking through their team lists, there's mostly made up of guys who are related on some level here, cousins or brothers. It's a real family club, and of course, Troy, as we know, they've come right through the grades from the God Squad days, and at times it really shows that they've played a lot of football together.
Absolutely, and they've really kept their core roster together, over the last few years. They made it all the way through to the old format last year, the Sharman Cup Grand Final, and have really competed well this year in the new format. And seeing them up against, Papakura Seagulls, who I guess everybody still sees as a Fox team, and every time one of the clubs are playing a Fox team, everybody lifts. Hence why I think, Seagulls got off to a really fast start today. They really wanted to stamp their impression on this game. And as it sort of worn on, I think Bay Roskill's just started to get into a wee bit of rhythm, and they managed to be in the right part of the park. So good little break here for both teams, and they'll be looking for a strong defensive set.
What won't be good is Jerome Ropati is off the field for Bay Roskill, so that's going to cause a reshuffle here. Most obvious one would be Kenneth Henry or Jonathan Weir slotting into the halves, I would think. So we'll keep an eye on that, although Leela Vaivai they've got as well, who can easily play 6 or 7. So we'll wait to see what happens there. And Jerome Ropati, he's just getting checked out by Carmen from the Seagulls as well, who of course knows Jerome well from working together with him at the Warriors. So let's hope Jerome's all good. He's up on his feet, which is the main thing. As Papakura now march downfield. Armiger to Stowers. This is Hemi Douglas. Good carry from Douglas. Armiger jumps out, spots there's no marker and steals 10 metres. They're 30 out from the line now, and a chance to perhaps put up a high ball here, which is exactly what they will do. It falls awkwardly. Who's got the football here? Bay Roskill have recovered it.
Wasn't a bad kick either. Managed to, pin them back down into this corner.
Ita.
Really looking to complete here and get a good kick away with the clock ticking off.
Alex Kaululupo. Short side to Vaivai. Goes on to Ongi. What's a prop doing hovering out there? Taken into touch. Well, I admire the ingenuity there, but perhaps not the play. As they get bundled into touch, there was always the numbers there to D up on them for Papakura. And now if the Seagulls can get a scrum pack down, they'll get one more chance before the half is out here. It's 12-4 with less than a minute to play here. You're joining us for the major semi-final of the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. Winner stays and goes on to the grand final to play Te Aratu. And the loser goes home. They can start planning their off-season celebrations. So Stowers to pack down the scrum just inside opposition territory now. Goes out to Radic, and they're going to move the ball early in the set here. Christopher Smithson.
Wouldn't be surprised you just knock a drop goal over from here, wouldn't you? Just with the wind at your back.
Andre Singh.
Yeah, looks like they're shaping up for something.
Armiger to Jamal Hunt, goes backdoor to Stowers, and then on a short line is Taylor Polder. Bay Roskill did well to recover there. Siren goes in the background. Time for one more. No, there is not. So we will go to the sheds with the Papakura Sea Eagles leading 12 points to 4 over the Bay Roskill Vikings here in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Major Semi-Final. A couple of minutes break for us before we resume with the second half action from Mount Smart Stadium number 2. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the halftime huddles here at Mount Smart Stadium number 2, and at the break it is the Papakura Sea Eagles leading 12 points to 4. Bay Roskill hitting back via a Kaliopasi try, but Drew Radich really the man of the moment for Papakura so far in this game. He's been running things down his side of the field, helped along by a pretty strong showing in the middle of the park from his forwards, and as a result it's the Papakura Sea Eagles who are in control as it stands. And Troy, as we see some vision there of Bay Roskill break from their huddle, what are you picking the halftime message will be from Coach John Paul as Bay Roskill look to reverse this deficit?
Well, I think TJ's sort of picked up on it. You know, they're wanting to get all the errors out of their game, be able to complete sets and, you know, mount some pressure. I think towards the back end of the first half, they were just starting to do that. I think TJ touched on, you know, Sea Eagles were up to about 90% completion, and just after he gave them the kiss of death, they started dropping down. So they'll probably want to maintain that a wee bit and, you know, as we said, complete sets and, you know, put a bit of pressure on down the Sea Eagles end of the field.
So 40 minutes to play. Bay Roskill looking to make it 3 straight grand finals it would be, having qualified for the second division grand final the last 2 years and now in the Fox Championship. And for Papakura, really it's about rescuing something from what has been an otherwise fairly disappointing season.
Bit of a sideline chat there for the referee, just as she's going back on down with the field from Alan Caddy. And we're getting ready for the action now, Corey. Here we go, mate.
So back into it we go. Papakura kick down to the number 1 end. Henry brings it in and hands straight off to Kauli Lupo, I think that is. Shade Heta.
Directed four defenders there, looking for a quick play of the ball.
Start will be very important, really? And penalty here for play of the ball infringement, so this will go the way of Papakura. Wow.
That's just not... Hey, wow's mine. Wow's mine. When you're lost for words and, you know, that's a coach killer. And we're only just talking about it earlier, you know, about getting the errors out. And we're straight from the kick-off. Here we got Papakura Sea Eagles on a major threat here.
Welcome to the second half. This is Setafano charging the ball forward. Hunt. Forward was the call. Play on the final adjudication from referee Tamaroa. This is Armiger to Stowers. Stowers goes to the line, links with BT, and something's happening on the right now for Papakura. They head back infield via Edwards.
He sort of just trotted back into that. Wondering if they're looking for a set play here.
Armiger. Big looping ball to Radich. Goes flat at the line. It's spaced on the left-hand side. It will be Zion to Sessi. The big man looming out wide. Zion to Sessi. Gets into a gap. It was nice build-up from Armiger and Radich as well. We'll get a good look at it here on the replay. It's almost unfair to have a man that size lurking out there in the centres.
So the Crown Truck lifts action replay just as we're waiting for the fight here to finish in the wrestle. And sort of felt like a set play. Just getting that spread out to the left-hand edge and basically split them wide open, 4 points on. And not a bad start, first few minutes into the second half. As we wait for the kick to come.
We'll throw over to TJ, who talked a little bit about not only Drew Radich being down that side, but the people he had around him that time, TJ, and comes to fruition with Tasesi getting the rewards that time around.
Yeah, just looking at the replay there, Bay Roskill actually had the numbers defensively, so they probably just didn't number off correctly. So, lack of chatter in the defensive line probably cost them there, and Drew obviously made the right decision on there on attack. So, big set here from Papakura. They dropped one in the first half, so they'll probably be looking to complete the set and kick it down deep. So we'll see how they go.
So Radich is away with the kick, and it's 16-4. Nightmare start to the second half for Bay Roskill, giving away that penalty while in possession. So back to it. Bay Roskill with a booming kick, which George Edwards did really well to bring in the end there. It was a tricky one. Arching forward now via Taylor Polder. Armiger to Setafano. Setafano leaves one on the ground. He usually does. Armiger misses out Radic that time and instead plays into Sissi, our most recent of the try scorers. Armiger jumps off a quick play of the ball and steals a few cheap ones. Beatty to Stowers, and Stowers will just dink a little kick over the top this time. It's straight down the throat of Corey Vogel and probably not the desired result that time. Doing a few different things with the kicking game. We've seen the high ball used mostly so far. So 4.5 gone in the second spell. 12 points between them right now as Vai marches the ball forward. Weir to Henry. Henry will kick. And out on the full. Well, nothing going their way right now. Bay Roskill. Ben Henry probably had a shelter to 40-20 that time, just got a bit too much on it, and he's probably adjusting to the serious difference with the wind in the second half as well. So out on the full, and pressure about to come back on.
I think the reshuffle might play a wee bit into that as well too, with Ropati on the sideline.
Worth noting that Papakura have the competition's best attack. They average 34.5 points scored per game this year. While they're not quite on track for that right now, they have looked very good when given good ball situations. Here's Smithson going down the left-hand side, gets rid of one. Smithson pops a beautiful ball out the back, and Andre Singh will score another for the Sea Eagles. Christopher Smithson. He's been very, very good today. He's broken a number of tackles, danced his way through down that edge, and that time pops a beautiful offload, and hanging on his shoulder, Andre Singh, who came off the bench, appears to have gone out onto the wing now. We'll get a good look at it here on the Crown Lift Trucks replay.
So we see the ball shift to the left-hand side. Nice little vertical side step there, kept everyone guessing. Step left, step right, and look at that ball. Beautiful to watch. Images brought to you by Stream Shot. Great try, 4 points. You're just saying that Bay Roskill had the highest attacking scores earlier?
Papakura, yep. The competition's best attack, 34.5, and on cue, right. They score another one and inch closer towards that.
I was going to add a little bit of humour to the commentary there and wondered how many of their aggregate points they would have picked up against Ellerslie Eagles. But I didn't want to bring that up, considering we've got TJ sitting next to us. He's just told us they scored 34. There you go. Here we go. Good image. And waved away.
So 20 points to 4 it remains. And 33 minutes to play here at Mount Smart Stadium number 2. If you wonder what my co-commentator's little jibe was about then, of course we do have the Ellerslie Eagles head coach, TJ Ashford, in the commentary box with us today, providing some stat updates and a bit of technical analysis as well. So Henry goes back to get us back underway, and this could get ugly here for Bay Roskill if they're not able to turn this around very quickly. There's a booming one off the boot, which is reeled in by Stowers, and then Hemi Douglas says, come here. Brings the ball forward. Armiger.
Nice.
Called away nicely, Luke Armiger at dummy half. After Phoenix Hunt was a late scratching. I know when Phoenix Hunt wasn't on the team sheet, a few of us raised our eyebrows and just wondered how that would affect the momentum that this Kura team plays with, but
no effect today by all accounts.
No, absolutely not, which is a real credit to Armiger.
He's actually had some big minutes, hasn't he?
So Beatty will kick, finds space between winger and fullback, will set up nicely in the end, and Bay Roskill start their journey back, but there is a long, long way to go here. Khalil Passi, the lone try scorer for Bay Roskill so far. They're still getting back on side. Leela Vaivai, the last to come back into the line. Weir to Hita. 15 short of halfway now, Bay Roskill, but really not a lot of energy about them. Another booming kick unleashed downtown. Straight down the throat of Makati Beatty, though. He looks up and sees some space as well with the chase. Just a little lacking. I tell you what was not lacking. The shoulder of Kenneth Henry. Wow. Edwards now marches out of dummy half. Stowers fills in temporarily at dummy half. Taylor Polder takes him up over halfway. Stowers goes short side. Neil Levu, a little swerve of the hips. Now Levu into open space. He's got Vogelby, pops the offload. Jamal Hunt, he's taken down 9 metres out from the line. No, he's not. Told to go back and play it, and then eventually, well, Jamal says, respectfully, I disagree with you, referee. Radic to Setafano, and there's just no end to the big men this side send at you. Radic is taken to ground, 3 metres short. Look out, Setafano's lining up here. I can almost see his eyes light up at the thought. He's going to get missed out this time. BT kicks in behind. It's knocked on by Vaivai, who then gets hit hard by Setafano. And Vaivai stayed down. He's back up to the feet now. That was unfortunate at that time. Leela Vaivai had to put the arm out and try and defuse that one. It's a knock on. How much longer can they hold on here for Bay?
You see the Bay pack as they're walking into the scrum. Hands are on hips. Everyone's blowing hard at this point. Vaivai's been getting through a ton of work both sides of the football.
So 10 out from the line, almost smack bam in the centre. Armiger jumps out the back to Neil Levu. Neil Levu will be hard to stop, and then launches the ball back towards the direction of George Edwards, who's then set upon by a 3-man tackle led by Corey Vogel. Inside the final half hour, Stowers directing traffic. Brings a setter back in on the inside and is tackled in front of the SAS uprights. Armiger goes to the left to Radic to Setafano. Setafano gets hit and in a hurry by Ben Henry, and it had to be quick. Radic holds it up at the line. Bay Roskill do really well to contain Tassesi that time.
Look at the strength.
Armiger's looking centre field. A little double pump. Was there an obstruction in there? As Jamal Hunt burrows his way over. It's going to be okay. Papakura are in again. It's Jamal Hunt. And that one may just be the killer blow. Long, long way back now for the Vikings. It was all power stuff on this set. Went close via Tassesi earlier in the play. And then eventually it's Jamal Hunt who just burrows low and running at a tight defensive line. Troy too big and too strong.
Yeah, he had 3 defenders on him. He really dragged them in. These boys have been working overtime in the centre, and really this has just come off wave after wave of pressure. 4 points. And the Seagulls are really rejoicing in that one. And the kicker will be kind of happy too. It's right next to the upright. So waiting for the kick to come.
TJ, probably fair to say that we're seeing probably the rewards now of that strong completion rate through the first half for Papakura, and also just the way their forwards have relentlessly rolled through the middle.
Yeah, eventually it's going to take its toll on the Bay Roskill defensive line. They obviously Drew's got his side with a fair bit of shape on that left-hand side of Papakura, so they're doing a bit of damage down there. But that error there on the try line, someone just tried to rush out of the line and solve a problem by himself. Probably just needed to use a bit more chatter there and tie in with his inside and outside defender. But Papakura's doing quite well at the moment. Bay Roskill have shown their hand quite early in the second half, looking to kick early and get them back using the wins. But we'll see how Papakura go from this set from here on out.
And you do get the feeling if they can pull off a couple of those kicks, there are 40-20s on the offering today, but unfortunately one out on the full and the other one was cleaned up well by Makati Beatty. Of course, Papakura will be well aware of the tactic that's coming their way as well. So they launch another one, and it's a high one. Look at the swirl that ball's getting on it. Stowers brings it in and then hands off to a setter who then gets smashed by Moses Ongi. Well,
what's the call there?
This will be a Bay Roskill penalty here for an incorrect play of the ball. I tell you what, Aseta may not run the direction of Moses Ongi again. That was a huge hit. More to come.
Great run here. Strong carry.
Heta, he's been very good today. Just about their best middle forward for me. Where is the dummy half? He's got big men lining up. Moses Ongi on the short, misses him out, and instead goes to Ben Henry, this former Kiwi international and Vodafone Warrior. Had his career cruelly cut short by injury. It's great to see him back involved at the grassroots level. Vai.
Oh.
It's put down.
Both ways. Well, just got 3 from the stat man. Out of 5 sets completed, Bay have managed to achieve 1, so that's really putting them under a lot of pressure. And, you know, that one there was certainly in the right part of the field. So they're on the defence court again.
This looks like they've lost a bit of their confidence as well. These were mistakes that probably when the team's going well just aren't getting made. Of course, we do have to acknowledge losing your chief playmaker certainly does not help things, and it's forced to reshuffle here. So it's not exactly a straight statement to say that they're just not playing well right now. There are factors at play. Alan Neolevu, that was a strip.
1-on-1.
The call. So Henry now charging through the middle. He's done it all today, Ben Henry. He's kicking, playmaking, and now taking those tough carries. Solid contact led by Aseta. They're set heavy to the left now with Kenneth Henry, but instead we'll come back towards the middle and we'll just go one out and
He tried to burgle it.
finish where it all started there. Vai now to Henry, and Henry goes short to Tutaki. Henry back centre field to Vai. Goes to Henry, and Henry going across field. Little basketball pass over the top. That was Ford, surely. Yes, it was. It all breaks down. It was unorganised. There was no real plan to it that time.
Yeah, well, that's probably the understatement for the day. Did you pick that one up from the fans over on the far side there? Wake up, Bay, wake up. But you just got to look at how positive the Papakura Sea Eagles are looking. You know, after that play, they're high-fiving. A lot of, encouragement from the team as they're getting ready to pack in. Here they come again.
The Armiger with the feed, and they're pretty much all set towards the middle of the park, which is the way they will go. And Neolevu, I think it is, with the first carry. Handy bright yellow boots. Andre Singh tries scorer down the left. Armiger jumping out and still going now as Armiger takes him up over halfway before he's dragged down in a desperate tackle by Leo Sevi. His Stowers, they're still trying to get back on side here, Bay Roskill. There's trouble brewing. Armiger goes centre field to Aseta. Aseta spots up at the line and just weaved around Vai for the time being and then bumped down. They're 25 out from the line now. Goes Armiger to Radic, and Radic will put one towards the heavens. Pressure on now. Breathing down his neck was Singh, but taken beautifully in the end. And the Vikings look to come back out from inside their own end. But look, Bay Roskill, you can't see it on the close-up shot, but they are struggling to get back into shape here. The back line coming in,
Corey.
looking for a little bit of work now, and here on cue is the winger, Leo Sevi. Throw a T-tail over them right now, Bay Roskill. Weir to Vai. Here's a strong carry from Leela Vai. That's a little bit better. They need more of that. Weir swings it out the back. Got pressure from Setafano, and it's a high one, which will go down towards BT. He brings it in and then gets whacked by Leo Sevi, I think it is. Up on him quickly. Neolevu Shaking out a one. Neil Levu still going.
What a guy to have in the back.
Made of Teflon. Nothing sticking.
Great.
Edwards! Through the middle, he had Beattie on his
Still
shoulder. George Edwards looks up and has another go. Finding success through the middle now. How long until one of the smaller skill men breaks this game open? And Papakura are in once again. Stowers will go to his left. Links with Radic, who goes to Serafano. Serafano is well contained, as he has been for most of the day. They've numbered up well on him, although there have been a number of tries scored down that side of the field. Jamal Hunt now back through the middle. 19 short of the line. There's players lying everywhere to play the ball that time. Beattie kicks across the body. Stowers is there. Ball bounces up fortuitously in the end for Bay Roskill, and they get a hand to it and nod that one dead via Molly Fraser. But all of a sudden, Troy Papakura looking very likely through the middle of the park off the back of what their big men are doing.
Yeah, absolutely, and that would have been a lot more pressure too. You know, we're playing with a fairly small in goal here, so you've got to really be pinpoint perfect on the kick. And as you rightly said, Bay Roskill managed to get a hand to that. Smack it out over the dead ball. However, here they are now. Line goal dropout.
So Henry, it's a long one, and there's a few back there. In fact, that's gone 60 metres on the fly and then taken a bounce. Bringing it back now is Junior Peto on for his second stint. Returned from team in Queensland this year and has been a valuable addition to what's already a strong forward unit. As Tassesi goes forward and just about got rid of Henry, who held on well down low. Radic to Jamal Hunt. Change of direction, shakes out a one, Jamal, shakes out a two, still going Jamal Hunt. He wanted an offload, but there was no one there that time. Armiger to Stowers. Stowers goes to the line. Willie Stowers, a little swerve of the hips, and Willie Stowers goes low for another Papakura try. It had been coming for a little while, that play. Willie Stowers puts the head down, battles his way over. Papakura are in for another. And TJ Ashford, they made it look easy in the end.
Yeah, Willie, that's probably a strength to his game as his running game, so he obviously saw an opportunity and took it. But Papakura's just rolling through the middle at the moment, and I think Luke Armiger's taking control of the ruck, and he's doing a pretty good job to go through the middle there.
Crown lift trucks action replay. Got to give them big ups to the crown lift truck, up and down, as we wait for the kick to come. And Willie Stowers will be happy with that one. Might catch a tweet later on tonight. And a big shout out to Gus, the dad. Dad might even give us a tweet as well. All you young fellas on your tweet machine.
Radic, good with the kick. Flags are up. It's one-way traffic, and Papakura are headed to the grand final. A date with Te Aratu awaits them. Next Saturday, we'll be bringing you that action live and free on aucklandleague.co.nz. Of course, the First Division SAS Fox Memorial Premiership Grand Final moved to Friday this year. That'll be live on Sky Sport. Keep an eye on your local guide for details of that.
That's shaping up to be a cracker as well. Mount Albert Lions are already there, and we get to find out who else takes that journey to the big stage today, Corey, later on this afternoon. And if you're in the neighbourhood, come and join us at Mount Smart number 2 as the Glenora Bears come to have a showdown with the Howick Hornets.
And I can tell you, for that particular game, nothing will beat being here in the stadium. It'll be a wonderful atmosphere.
Three defenders on, just trying to play the ball down. Here they come though.
Armiger, short and flat. Perhaps flat's a little kind for that one. It looked forward to me. 40 metres out from the line. Radic again going down the left. Serafano, in fact it's Tassesi who pops one to Smithson, and once again it's on down the left, and Bay Roskill just get there in time. That was a beautiful line from Tassesi. An equally good ball from Radic, I think it was. Back centre field they come now, the Seagulls. Radic on the ball, a looping ball over the top. They're going coast to coast here. Makati Beattie back in through the middle. Stowers hits it at pace. It breaks down, and Kenneth Henry recovers. That was an exciting little set that time from the Papakura Sea Eagles, who are a lot of fun to watch right now, Troy.
Yeah, and I dare say if you're a Bay Roskill fan, not that much fun. As we wait for the Vikings now to try and get some time on the ball. Oh, they're appealing. And the referee says, okay, I'll give you this one.
Yeah, it was one of those awkward ones, wasn't it? It was
No malice in it, I don't think. Just got them to an awkward position. However, they were successful on the appeal.
Henry went looking for touch, and looking at his defence, they have to be trying something at this point, Bay Roskill. That time it doesn't come off as Neil Levu now goes across country looking for a gap.
I wouldn't be kicking to that man.
No, probably ill-advised, isn't it, given the evidence that we have across the game so far. He's had a brilliant game, Alan Neil Levu. Hasn't played a lot this year, but was a key member of their Fox winning team back in 2016 under Richie Blackmore. Armiger now, who's played the full game so far, and just about being the best on park. This is a setter who had the offload cocked, but it was Jamal Hunt standing to his left. Armiger now with playmakers set either side. We'll go the direction of Radic, who plays short, and it's picked off by John O'Weir. John O'Weir looks up and says, I'm not cut out for the big intercept. Where's a friend?
Yeah, John O'Weir's looking for somebody else to be off him. He's taking the tackle. Here come the Bay Roskill Vikings, though.
Vogel.
Not a better man to have than this guy.
To a little bit of open space now, Corey Vogel. I'm quite serious in saying he has not been tackled first time at all today. He has broken every first attempt. And the thing with him is he's slightly built. It's really his pace and just the way he moves his body that makes him so hard to contain. Henry goes to the line. Falls back behind Ben Henry, who has to dive on it. They've got 40 metres to go now, and there's bodies down everywhere for Bay Roskill. This is Mackenzie Cutter.
Laughing in the background. Yep.
Henry. Flat ball at the line, which is reeled in by Leo Sevi, and the play will die there. Fizzles out for Bay Roskill, who at this point are just really struggling to get the energy needed to get anything going in attack with 14 minutes to play. 28 points is the gap on the scoreboard. Te Arotu Roosters watching this one, and of course they know all too well what Papakura are capable of. They took them all the way last week in extra time. I understand Papakura actually missed 3 different field goal attempts as well, so that could have gone either way. And just given what we've seen from Papakura today, they've got better every week through this competition, and really it's a mouth-watering prospect, the grand final we've got to wait in us.
Looking forward to that. And credit where it's due. The Te Arotu Roosters had a fantastic season. They've got a great forward pack. I really like what we've seen when we've had live streaming this year with the Te Arotu Roosters team. That said, though, you're right. I think Papakura Sea Eagles, as this has gone on, they've started to build with a wee bit more confidence, and they want to come back and play with dominance and look like the Fox Club of the past.
So penalty here for Papakura. Strip ruled in there. Sea Eagles in no real hurry. Brings the ball back to Willie Stowers, who brought up 100 games for the Papakura Sea Eagles a couple of weeks ago. Well done to Willie. Of course, he went over to Australia for a little bit, spent some time with the Illawarra Cutters. But it's great to see Willie back, and Troy, the whole time we've been involved in the live streaming, Willie Stowers has been a real key part of this Papakura team, and it's great to see him still playing very, very good football, and no doubt enjoying linking up with Drew Radic this year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And to boot, he's a really nice guy. You can have a good conversation with him around football, and he's open and really approachable as we get a big split on here. Oh, that ball's gone astray.
Luke Armiger, just for a second, as Corey Vogel gets out and breaks tackle number 99 for the day. He gets set upon and just about back-slammed, and
big WWE tackle.
There's a few people thankful that didn't come to fruition. This is Leo Sevi, part of that strong family connection at the club. We mentioned it before. The majority of this team related in some way, shape or form. Of course, it was the Williams family a few years ago. All of Sonny Bill Williams' brothers and cousins involved with the club. Now the Henrys and Vogels. Ropati as well, related to the Vogels. So John O'Weir clears the ruck, goes to Henry, comes back through the middle, and Charging onto that one. It was Cowley Lupo. They're still working hard here, Bay Roskill. Henry will look to the heavens. Plenty of height on this one. It's going to fall awkwardly. It bounces. And now Makati Beatty goes back to challenge. And just about pulled off the miracle regather there. It was a fair old chase from Kenneth Henry. But when it's not your day, it's not your day. The ball spills loose. And we'll go back to a scrum for the Papakura Seagulls. And as we wait for Papakura to ruck this ball out, we'll go to TJ Ashford for a little stats update.
Yeah, obviously the score's telling a story here, but Bay Roskill haven't really completed that well in the second half, which is probably contributing to the scoreboard at the moment as we see a little break here from Papakura.
And Stowers gets on the end of it, shakes out of the last one now, Stowers, and then a desperate ankle tap brings him down. Neil Levu gets it and stays on the field of play. We'll go back to TJ soon, but in the meantime, the Seagulls back on the attack, hunting more points. As if they haven't inflicted enough pain on this Bay Roskill side so far. Taylor Polder it is. Taking the ground, 19 out from the line. They're set pretty heavy to the left here with some big bodies and Drew Radich. And guess who the ball goes to first time? BT on the end of it. Plays short at the line and then Tassisi pops it out the back. Cleaned up by Smithson. And then comes centre field. There's bodies down everywhere right now. A war zone out there. 15 to travel now for the Seagulls. Hunt steaming onto it down the right. Good strong carry, but he's tackled well around the legs. Last play coming up. Armiger to Stowers. Stowers goes out the back, finds Edwards. Edwards a little goose step. Edwards holding it up. He was looking for Neil Levu. He might not need him here. He will not need him. George Edwards goes over. Eventually got the ball down. It was a little unconventional to say the least. I think he was initially looking to link with Neil Levu back on the inside, but got the job done in the end. Troy, another Papakura Seagulls try.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay here, and as Corey said, it looked a wee bit unconventional, but I'm going to put it down to George Edwards with a power pirouette over on that far side. And he's right, he's looked to offload there, basically just kept spinning and turning, managed to get the ball down. Try time, and icing on the cake.
Power pirouette. I quite like that one.
Stay with me, Corey.
I quite like that one.
Go to YouTube, Google it.
Put that one in the notebook for next year.
You can maybe tweet me about it later. I'll go and find it on my my Facegram book thing.
So Radich with his most difficult kick of the day from right up against the sideline. Few could have predicted this. 36-4 with 8 minutes to play. It has been one-way traffic. Radich strikes it and it's away to the right. So it remains Papakura 36, Bay Roskill Vikings 4. 8 minutes to play here in TJ Ashford. A commanding performance ahead of a grand final date next week.
Yeah, that'll give Papakura a fair bit of confidence going into next week against Te Aratu. I've been unfortunately on the wrong end of the results against both those sides.
I was going to ask you, as an
this
Elsford coach, what would you be doing shaping up for this coming down next week?
Yeah,
well, that's right, you're not there.
No, that's right, we're not there, unfortunately. We are one game shy of making that Fox final, so unfortunately for us. But Papakura played outstanding today, and I definitely think they've been brought on quite well through their hooker today, Luke Armiger. He's just taking control of the middle of the field, and I think that's where they've beaten Bay Roskill today.
I do want to give some credit here to Coach Spencer Taplin as well, who, that was a disappointing qualifiers. There's no doubt about that. They would have expected to be part of that, but he's stuck with it and just managed to keep these guys confident. And as we've touched on a few times, Troy, they've got better and better throughout the championship proper. And now, through to the big dance, they're back
Still
in the
going.
First Division qualifiers for next year. So all is well at Papakura. As they go hunting more points, trying to crack 40 now. Stowers had George Edwards, who was off to the races if it had played in. Oh, Willie, you'll owe George a beer for that one, surely. So handover now. This will go the way of the Bay Roskill Vikings.
Just picking up on what you were saying, Corey, I think you're right. You know, the head coach and even with some of the boys in the Papakura Sea Eagles team, probably, disappointed being in the qualifiers, and going down to Pukekohe, I think was a big game for them to give them a heads up. So they're really here trying to show some dominance and to set tone and tenor as they walk towards the grand final next week with Te Atatū. And looking forward to that. It's going to be a fantastic clash. It'll be our main headliner game next Saturday. They really now just on the grind up to the 40.
Great line through the middle, but they're up quickly. It's interesting to see Jamal Hunt still on out there. He has been battling a knee injury and I thought may have been rested with the game now out of reach, but perhaps they're looking at it the way that let's get some minutes under his belt because he's going to need it next week during the grand final. This is a good carry forward from Moses Ongi, who has been very good on the beaten side today. Ben Henry bumps the ball forward. They're 30 metres out from the line now, Bay Roskill, and playing for pride at this point. Of course, they can be very proud of what they've achieved once again this year. Really, it's been a great 3 or 4 years for Bay Roskill. John O'Ware, looking back centre field, finds Henry. Henry dinks a little kick over the top. It bounces up in the end into the hands of Keanu Naden, I think that is. Maybe Kamili Vasu.
Not a bad run too. He kept on his feet, ducking and diving.
Good line speed that time. Up quickly was Kelly Lupo. BT to Singh. Singh with a little swerve at the line, but Hooky says you're going nowhere. 4.5 to play. 32 points the difference. It's been a dominant showing from the Sea Eagles. We'll be back here in 7 days' time. A kick out of dummy half now from Makati BT straight down the throat of Corey Vogel. And what a season this man has had, Corey Vogel, as he shakes out of another one. A lethal addition to the back line for the Bay Roskill Vikings and can hold his head high at the end of all this as they work it down the left-hand side. This is via the number 4, Molia Fraser. Told back to go back and play that one again after trying to steal a metre or two.
Oh, he's tried to force it. He's going to play on.
Backwards the call and hot-stepping Smithson once again. Going downfield. May have got a high shot in the end there from Vogel, I think it was. They're now only 32 out from the line. Stowers with a looping ball back to Taylor Polder. They look like they're playing touch all of a sudden. Papakura. The ball pops out the back and that's a little bit sloppy. One thing Coach Taplin won't want them to do is get carried away now and start to drop their standards. And you just have to wonder with those loose offloads if there's a bit of that starting to creep in all of a sudden. As Bay Roskill now take the ball forward, and this is Kauli Lupo. Pretty strong through the middle. Weir to Henry. Henry pops the ball to Ongi. Ongi still fighting now, Moses. Rangy prop forward. 2.5 to go. Weir. Henry looking up. He's run the ball plenty today, but just has not been able to find a way through. Work down the short side now. Looping ball up over the top. Perhaps some space out on this side as Kaliopasi. Well, somehow, how on earth did he hold on to that ball? It was loose at one point. Now they jump out of dummy half and try and catch them napping and might do just that. They will. I think it's Corey Vogel that's gone over. We'll get a good look at it here on the Crown Lift Trucks replay. A late consolation try for the Bay Roskill Vikings. See here, it was Kaliopasi. The ball got loose.
Ahead, yeah.
Yep, and managed to bring it in, and then just a little burrowing effort there. And
That took a bit of strength to get that try. Hip through one of the defenders into the in-goal area to get the ball down.
so as we await the conversion, we'll throw one last time for this game to TJ Ashford. And TJ, well, it's been a strong year for Bay Roskill, but from your eyes, other than losing Jerome Ropati, where's it fallen away for them today?
Yeah, I just think up the middle, mate. I don't think they controlled the middle ruck speed enough today to get back in the grind. But in saying that, Papakura have done quite well today, man. They've played on the front foot, played over the advantage line a fair bit this game, and they've obviously just beaten them strong up the middle. It's unfortunate for Bay because they are a great side, and no one deserves to go out like they have today. But credit to both sides today; they've been outstanding.
So the kick is away, and it may have actually hit the upright on the way, so it remains 36 points to 8. Inside the final minute now, we might not even get a restart of play. But don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We are around about half an hour away from the big one today, the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership Major Semi-Final. What a game this will be. The Howick Hornets up against the Glenora Bears, and there it is on screen live from 2:35 with the game kicking off at 2:40. It's going to be a blinder, Troy.
Looking forward to that, and as you rightly said, we've got two big juggernaut teams. They both got strong forward packs, great finishing. Going to be certainly a big clash. So do not miss this, ladies and gentlemen, coming live. And if you need to get to the link, it's on www.aucklandleague.co.nz.
So the Vikings march it forward. 5 seconds to play. This will be the last play of this season here, Bay Roskill. Henry dinks a kick over the top. Vogel's in the scene. Look out. Corey Vogel gets on the end of it. Corey Vogel into open space. What a try!
Fantastic end to his season. Absolutely outstanding.
Well, it won't count for much on the scoreboard in the end, but it certainly got the commentator up out of his seat. That was lovely stuff. Look at this from Ben Henry. The vision, and he just knows my speedster will be there. Puts himself in the picture. Goodbye. Corey Vogel. Well, what a note to finish this game on.
What a note to finish the season on. And the kick's away.
Papakura advance. They await a grand final appearance against the Te Atatū Roosters in a week's time. What a showing from the Papakura Seagulls. Well done to Coach Spencer Taplin and wife Carmen on a brilliant campaign. 80 minutes to go as they eye winning the inaugural Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. A short break for us before we resume with the coverage and, of course, the First Division, the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership.